Good evening to all and welcome to the session, the Hindu Editorial Analysis for Proficiency in English. Today's editorial is about the Summit Clash cricket match. We all know what exactly happened. And then you may wonder, so why have you brought this editorial? Every session, every day, what I do, I always tell you guys it is from proficiency in English point of view. So when you look at this editorial, there are so many words you can learn. A few idioms are there to learn. Keeping that in mind, though we all know what exactly happened on Sunday, I have brought this editorial. We'll start the editorial with the session with the tone of the editorial. The tone of the editorial appears to be a mixture of disappointment and acceptance. Obviously, one is disappointment. The other one, we have to accept the result, acceptance. I would like to reiterate, I have brought this keeping in mind proficiency in English. Do remember. This guy has been asking some ready. Yes, it is going to be useful. It is useful. It will help in the long run. Your question, I think you asked yesterday also. CUET, is it useful? My answer, yes, it is going to be useful, but you have to follow regularly. Then you can learn a lot of words, a lot of expressions. You can improve your comprehension. You can consolidate your grammar knowledge. That way, it is going to help. I hope you got the answer. You have been waiting since yesterday. Now, how does it start? End of a dream run. A lot of expressions are there, a lot of words are there, so try to focus on the expressions and the words. Dream run. India has won all the matches before the final match. Had won all the matches before. Yes, you can use Congress apostrophe. Yes, that is correct. Anusha, I think you asked yesterday. My pleasure, ready. I got it. Congress plus apostrophe s. Because you may ask, sir, why? That rule, using the apostrophe after the letter S, goes with a plural noun. But when you look at the word Congress, the party, ask yourself, is it a singular noun or a plural noun? Because it is a singular noun, we have to use after the letter Congress, Congresses. Have you got it? So, end of a dream run. India had won all the matches before the final match. So it was a dream run without losing a single match. And it is about what? On the World Cup final. India came up short, an important expression. Came up short, what do you understand? It means did not live up to, did not live up to the expectations. You did not live up to the expectations. Someone did not live up to the expectations. My pleasure. Then we say the person came up short, did not live up to the expectations. India came up short against Australia despite. Already our students on this platform, they respond within no time why they know why it is important. Despite, in spite of. Between the two, despite is a little more formal, and there's a common error. We should not use despite of, and the other one we should use in spite of separate words. Three separate words. Very good. Tripura Sundari. So against Australia, despite starting as a favorites, the finals, everyone thought India would win because they did not lose a single match and they started as a favorites. So how does it start? 2 decades apart. 2 decades apart. Important expression. 20 years. India again ran into. This is an important phrasal verb, though it goes with everyday English. Run into. Run into means, literal meaning I'm telling, to meet someone by chance. In this context, to face Australia, I ran into my childhood friend in the theater. Means what I came across. You can also say, come, I will use the present form, come across. Meet someone by chance. Collide has a different connotation. Strike, hit, collide, rather, a little off the track. 2 decades apart, India again ran into Australia in a World Cup final, and the result was the same. They lost that time, they have lost this time. In the 2003 edition's climax at Johannesburg, Ricky Ponting's men were an overwhelming opposition. What is this word overwhelming? Which part of speech is it? Please try to write the parts of speech and whatever you know, please. Two or three students have been doing that. I want other students also to be part of this session. Part of speech, adjective. Overwhelming usually takes the combination word overwhelming response, means making to make a huge impact on someone. Yes, you can use words like stupendous, massive, profuse, profound, but usage is very important, Anusha. Do remember, I appreciate you write a lot of words immediately, but always remember you cannot use all the words with the assumption they are synonyms I can use anywhere. That doesn't work. It depends on the context. Accordingly, you have to use the word because in English, context is a king. Overwhelming opposition. What is the combination they have used here? Overwhelming opposition means imposing a lot. Impose, to impose something to a great extent. Impose, usually positive thing. Overwhelming response, overwhelming something. And coming to the latest summit clash, the final match at Ahmedabad's Narendra Modi Stadium proved no different. This is also an important expression. Yes, of course, you can learn a lot. Proved no different as Pat Cummins and his men remained equally indomitable. After a gap of 2 or 3 months, I've come across this word, indomitable. All of you listen, this is an important word. And the word combination, if you indomitable part of speech, adjective. And what does it mean? Difficult to, very difficult to subdue or defeat. Indomitable spirit. And the typical combination word I give the students, and you all should have this indomitable spirit. While preparing for competitive exams, sometimes you have highs, sometimes lows, but you should always have indomitable spirit. It means what? You should not give up, you should not quit, and you have to maintain the same motivation and confidence. There's another word, the editorial, you come across that invincible. Invincible goes with a king. Invincible king means very difficult to defeat that person or that king. And here the team. The latest summit where the latest summit at Ahmedabad's Narendra Modi Stadium proved no different that Pat Cummins and his men remained equally indomitable. In both championships, the force seemed to be with India until the final hurdle. So, till the final hurdle, the force seemed to be, appeared to be with India until the final hurdle. And here, until. A lot of students ask me, sir, what is the difference between until and till? Both are one and the same. They refer to time. And you got to be careful, single L, double L. Standard English, Old English, initial word until. Over a period of time, till came into existence. Now the preferred word is till. In this context, you have to recollect another word, unless. Unless, until, till they express time, unless expresses condition. And all the three words are negative words, do remember. And why should you remember negative words? In the same clause, we cannot use two negative words. For example, in many competitive exams have given, unless you don't sign, we will not give that. Wrong. Unless you sign. Unless you don't sign, there are two negative expressions, not correct. Unless you sign. That you have to recollect. And what is the word here? Hurdle. Hurdle, we have got many a time. Hurdle, we use words like typical word bottleneck, something that stops. Based on that, you have to think of words like impediment, impediment, hurdle. You should also think of the word hindrance. Has anyone written all these words? Hurdle, hardship, Standstill has a different meaning. Stumbling block, correct. Bottleneck, correct. And obstacles, also correct. Stumbling block, you can, very good expression, but not standstill. Standstill means no movement at all. That's a different meaning altogether. In both championships, the force seemed to be with India until the final hurdle. Saurav Ganguly then, Rohit Sharma now are the anguished captains. Anguish means what? Pain. Severe pain, we use anguish. And this, based on anguish, you have to think of another word. You have to think of the word agony. Agony also means severe pain. Anguish, agony, severe pain, acute pain. You have to recollect another word. Very good. Tormented. Anusha, really great. That is wonderful within no time. Others, please have a look at what Anusha has been, the words she has been presenting. You all can learn a few words. The men in blue were in terrific form. This is something very important. Why is it important? A lot of students get confused. They keep asking me, terrible, terrific, and terrify. Terrible means bad, terrible people, terrible food, terrible place. Terrific means very good, positive word. It's a positive word. Terrific form means very good form. And terrify means scare or frighten. Terrifying incident, scary incident, and frightening incident. All the three words have different meanings, nowhere related to. If you look at terrible, terrific, completely opposite. One is negative, the other one is positive. On the other hand, terrify, a different meaning altogether. The men in blue means Indian team, Indian players were in terrific form all through this World Cup till the finals, outstanding. The batters and bowlers had this aura of invincibility. Aura means something like if you look at the pictures of gods or goddesses, you see, uh, imagine the face, you see some sort of lighting. That is known as aura. One meaning. In this context means the power, the distinctive quality, the distinctive power that goes with a particular person, in this context, a player. Aura of invincibility. I have already given the word indomitable, invincible, very difficult to defeat. 10 matches were won on the trot. Last time also we came across this one. Perhaps the same person has written on the trot means what? Do you remember on the trot? In succession. And even Australia was vanquished in the early part of the campaign. Vanquish means make something disappear, defeat in this context. To defeat all rivals in a round robin league phase reflected India's consistency, but as Australia showed yet again, finals of multi team ICC events throw up unique challenges. Again, the word unique is important from the exam point of view. Why is it important? A lot of people think it is an unique, not correct. You have to say a unique person, a unique challenge. Then you, if you wonder why should we use vanish, vanquish, make something disappear, they all mean the same. You, imagine the word is you. How do you pronounce you? Ya sound. That is a consonantal sound. Based on that, you have to say a unique person. You should not say an unique. That you have to recollect. The men from down under. How many of you know this expression? It refers to Australians, the men from down under. The men in blue, Indians, the men from down under, Australians, have now won 6 World Cups, and Cummins, their current skipper, has grown in stature, has grown present perfect in stature, means in his image, or how people look at. Most unique is also not correct. Very good, Tapa. I appreciate that. Here you have to recollect one more thing. We have two absolute adjectives. One is unique, the other one is perfect. Absolute adjectives. What are these called? Absolute adjectives. Cannot be compared. Cannot be compared. A lot of people say the most perfect specimen, wrong. The perfect specimen. The most unique person, not correct. We cannot use a superlative form. That you have to recollect. And these two words have given many a time. Has grown in stature, means his position, reputation, whatever you can say, image, all these words. Sunday's final on a sluggish pitch. Sluggish means what? An important word. Part of speech, adjective. Sluggish means very slow. You should also recollect words like, but we don't use with the pitch. Pitch we say sluggish, but a person is very slow. What is the word you have to use? Lethargic, inactive, and slack. Usage is very important. Though I appreciate Anusha, whatever you have been uh, posting, do remember, I would like to caution usage varies from word to word. That you should know for sure. And lethargic, sluggish, slack, all these indolent, another important word, naidu, paidi. Very good, I appreciate. Indolent. Sluggish pitch with the dry spots affected. Affected, again, you have to recollect effect, affect. What is the difference? They've given many a time. Here, effect, both verb and noun, but we use as a noun, and affect is always a verb. Affected India's free-flowing batters. Even if Rohit, Virat Kohli, and KL Rahul scored, the others found their timings going all right. This is an important word you got to be careful with pronunciation. How do you pronounce this word? All right, all right. So it means go wrong. When something goes wrong, you say something went all right. Here, their timings going all right. A total of 240 was not enough to test the Australians later at night, especially with the dew kicking in. An important phrasal verb. Dew kicking in means dew formation. And here again, you have to recollect two words. One is later, the other one latter. What is the difference? This refers to time and this refers to position. They have given in many exams. Later refers to time, latter refers to position. And both are comparative forms. Reducing Australia to 47 for 3. At one stage, the score was 47 for 3. That time, a lot of people thought India would win the match. India had a window of opportunity. There was a chance, but Travis Head shut the door. How could he do that with one of the finest tons in the history of World Cup finals? The southpaw. I usually tell students whenever we come across the word ambidextrous, invariably I give the word southpaw. Ambidextrous. Not insufficient. RI means go wrong. Divya. RI means something goes wrong. Who is Pandu? You are a southpaw. Southpaw. So am I. So when I say ambidextrous, ambi means two, dexterity means skill. Who is ambidextrous? A person who can use both the hands. We call that person ambidextrous. But you all know I am a southpaw. It seems a Pandu is also a southpaw. Means a left-hander. Southpaw means when I give this word, usually students ask me, "Sir, what is the word for right-handers?" There is no word as such because majority. Left-handers are only a few, and there is a separate word, southpaws. The Southpaws 137 will be spoken about for long, for many days, months, years. They will talk about his 137 knock. But perhaps the game's turning point was when he took a diving catch to end Rohit's belligerent attack. Knock. We got this word many a time. Belligerent. Part of speech, adjective. Means what? Ready to attack. You can also think of words like aggressive. Aggressive. See, Anusha has come up with a lot of words: belligerent, bellicose, antagonistic, hostile, animosity. But they are different, Anusha. Antagonistic, hostile, enmity, animosity, antipathy, one group. And belligerent, bellicose, one group. Means ready to attack. Quarrelsome, you can use. Belligerent knock. The India froze. Look at the expression, so nice. When he took a diving catch to end Rohit's belligerent knock, India froze. Everyone was shocked. There was pin drop silence in the stadium. Australia's great win leaned heavily, depended heavily on its incredible fielding. I use this word quite often. Incredible means what? Unbelievable. What is opposite? Part of speech adjective, obviously. Credible. Credible means believable. Credible, opposite incredible. Australia's great win leaned heavily on its incredible fielding. Unbelievable. Everyone was awestruck. Exactly. When Alan Border, now it talks about what exactly happened way back in 2003. When Alan Border lifted the World Cup at Kolkata's Eden Gardens in 1987, it signaled a new phase of Australian dominance. Since then, they have been dominating. With Cummins doing the same, it just reiterated. I use this quite often. Reiterate means what? It talks about emphasis, stress, something. When you use the word stress, do try to recollect one important rule. Stress on not correct, discuss about not correct, order for not correct, and inform to not correct. You have to recollect all these. It just reiterated his nation's leading position in cricket. Meanwhile, Kohli found no consolation in winning the player of the tournament. Who got the title player of the tournament? Kohli got. But it is not a consolation because we lost. He was very upset. He was sad, obviously. That wouldn't have made him happy. And coach Rahul Dravid spoke about emotions running high. Emotions run high means people are charged. When people are charged, full of emotions, we say emotions are running high. In the Indian dressing room, playing that 2003 final, and that time Rahul Dravid was the part of the team, playing that 2003 final, and having now observed how his wards, here wards means generally it goes with students, in this context, players. His wards ran into the Aussies all over again. Dravid was full of empathy. Empathy is an important word. Today, if you go to the private sector, corporate giants, they use the word empathy. They expect the employees to have empathy. When we talk about soft skills, the most important one, empathy. What are the other soft skills you're supposed to acquire? Leadership qualities, time management, stress management, interpersonal skills, problem solving ability, proactive nature, all these, along with empathy, most important. Now comes the question, what does it mean? Empathy means to think from the other person's point of view, to put yourself in the other person's place or position. Then you understand what exactly the problem. Show sympathy, you can say, understand the other person's position, think from the other person's point of view. Now it talks about the future. This World Cup could be the last for a golden generation of Indian stars, as Rohit, Kohli, Ravindra Jadeja, R. Ashwin, and a few others are unlikely to be around for the 2027 edition at South Africa, Zimbabwe, and Namibia. These players may or may not. How does the editorial end? India's ICC title drought. Drought usually goes with what? I want you guys to respond. Drought goes with rains. You should also recollect the expression dry spell. In this context, you can use drought or dry spell. Means what? Actual meaning no rains. In this context, no title. Since 2013 continues, but there was no shame in the latest defeat as a better team won. We don't have to feel ashamed. Why? Look at how the editorial ends. But there was no shame in the latest defeat as a better team won. Better team always wins. We have to accept. That's all about the editorial. So much to learn from this editorial. That is the reason why I had to bring this editorial. Now let us go to questions to test your comprehension skill. What is the tone of the editorial? I have already given the tone of the editorial, but you have to pick a new word based on this. What is the tone of the editorial? Is it celebratory, dismissive, mournful, neutral? Nowadays they're asking, very good Anusha, first one to respond, then Thapa Pandu, not D Pandu, it is C. Mournful, sad, upset, disappointed. Yes, Divya, you have to recollect few, a few, little, a little, the little, countable, uncountable, very good. Which player's century is highlighted as one of the finest in the history of World Cup finals in the editorial? Easy to answer. Not Ricky Ponting, not Rohit Sharma, not Virat Kohli. He made all the whole thing go upside down. His catch, his century. At one stage, the balance was in favor, the scales were in favor of India. Later, single handedly changed the whole scenario. What factor does the editor attribute as crucial to Australia's victory in the World Cup final? India's exceptional form, Australia's strong batting lineup, Australia's incredible fielding. What is the answer here? Incredible fielding made all the difference. They wonderful fielding, incredible. Almost all the those who watched the match, those who were in the stadium, they were awestruck looking at the way Australians fielded. Next level of fielding. According to the editorial, what is emphasized as a signal of Australian dominance in cricket history? Look at the key words. As a signal of Australian dominance in cricket history. Cummins' captaincy? No. Travis Head century? No. Alan Border lifting the World Cup in 1987. That has been mentioned clearly. India's consistency not relevant. So what is the answer here? 1987, Alan Border lifting the World Cup in 1987. What is the editorial's perspective on India's defeat in the World Cup final? Editorial's perspective on India's defeat in the World Cup final. A moment of shame for Indian cricket? No. A missed opportunity for India? Hold this one. A result of poor performance throughout the tournament? No. Outstanding performance. A triumph against all odds? No. We did not win, we lost. So, what is the answer? There was an opportunity. They were 3 wickets down at 43 for 43. There was an opportunity, but they missed that opportunity. So, what is the answer here? A missed opportunity. No, 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 no. Question number five answer is B, not D. I have brought five questions based on error location. Today I feel they are challenging. A few questions are challenging. So at the outset, I would like to caution. I read the question meticulously, not that easy in my opinion. Tamil Nadu Governor R.N. Ravi's act of withholding assent to bills concerning universities in the state is nothing than constitutional tyranny. That's an important word. Dictatorship. Autocrat, dictator, tyrant, all mean the same. 5B. Oh, you're talking about questions, comprehension? No, over. Please look at questions based on, practice questions based on error location. Who is this? Pandu says, first one to respond. But that is right, Pandu. Third, you said. No, that is not correct. No, 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 no. Who is this? Divya has got it right. First one to get. Tamil Nadu Governor R.N. Ravi's act, nothing wrong, of withholding assent, approval, important word. There are two words here you have to recollect. One is assent, assent. Assent means what? Approval. And what is the other word? Word go up, upward direction, assent, opposite descent. To bills concerning universities in the state, nothing wrong. Is nothing. The word nothing, this is a common error, does not take the word than. A lot of people say nothing than. Wrong. The word nothing takes the contrasting word but. So here than is not correct. We have to use Nothing but. I appreciate all those who have got it right. But how long it will last remains an open question, especially with two potentially disruptive political events looming in the horizon. But how long it will last remains an open question, especially with two potentially disruptive political events looming in the horizon. Disrupt means interrupt, loom, to hang or to be there for some time as a threat. Anusha is the first one, she has got it right. There is an error in the fourth part. What is that? Here we cannot say in the horizon because of the verb loom. Loom goes or takes the preposition on. Based on that, looming on the horizon. This is correct. Very good. I appreciate within no time. But you can use over also, but in the editorial they have used on. The grant of assent is a routine function of the titular head of state, and the exceptional power to withhold it is not meant to exercised unreasonably. A lengthy sentence you got to read carefully, meticulously rather. The grant of assent, approval, is a routine function of the titular head, an important word. Means what? Namesake. Here you have to recollect two foreign expressions. One is and de facto. De jure, de facto means legally. Here, in fact, or in reality. Today, if you look at India, who is legally, who is the head of the nation? The president. But in reality, who has the power? The prime minister. The de jure head is a president. The de facto head is a prime minister. Namesake. Huh. Very good. I think a few students have got it right. Very good, highly appreciable. Here, not meant to exercised is not correct. We have to say to be exercised, not meant to be exercised. Passive voice you have to use. No, no, not. You can also say not meant to exercise, but here we have to use passive voice. Who is that? That is also right, but not in this context. In this context, not meant to be exercised. Another lengthy sentence. Meanwhile, the US will next year go into election mode ahead of polls in November 2024, and campaign season inevitably brings heated rhetoric on China. Rhetoric means what? Speech, speech or writing used to persuade people. That is known as rhetoric. Speech or writing, usually it goes with public speaking, speech. Leaders, they try to do that. At the time of elections, they use rhetoric. Please answer question number 4. Where is the error? You can also say Tripura Sundari, efficient speech inevitably brings. Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong. Inevitable means unavoidable. Campaign season brings. Nothing wrong with that. Here, inevitably adverb. Put it in brackets, then you ask yourself, campaign season brings heated rhetoric on China. No, no one has got it right. Answer is no error. Fifth option. Do respect the fifth option. Who is this now? Ramesh. Very good. I appreciate. After that, I see Venkat Kiran and also paracetamol. Who is this? And Naidu Paidi Pavi also. Very good. Anusha. Meanwhile, the US, definite article should be there, will next year Go into election mode, 1 unit. Ahead of polls, nothing wrong. In November 2024, nothing wrong. And campaign season subject, inevitably adverb, brings, we have to add S or S to the verb, brings what? Heated rhetoric, adjective noun combination on China. That's it. No error, highly appreciable. Done mistake is not correct, made mistake is correct. Who is that? Not expected. Common error, I did a mistake yesterday. Right or wrong? Common error. The noun mistake take goes with the verb make. So what is the past form of make? I made a mistake yesterday. They have given this in many exams. You got to be careful. The bills for what Mr. Ravi has refused approval seek mainly to take away the governor's power to appoint vice chancellors of universities and vest it in the state government, means give the power to the state government. No problem, sometimes it happens. Never feel guilty. Ah, who is this? Very good. Here, the bills for what? You cannot use the question word what, you have to use a relative pronoun which. Which is what? Bills things. We have to use a relative pronoun. Person who, things which, that, persons, both persons and things. Relative pronoun. Very good, within no time. That's wonderful. There is a parajumble here. Try to look at the words parts very carefully. How many parts are there? 6 parts. Take elimination approach. An admirer of Donald Trump of the US and Bolsonaro of Brazil. What has pushed Mr. Milley? Perhaps you can consider. You can consider the second one, the first one. He cannot be the first one because there's a pronoun. Into the political limelight, there is no subject, cannot be the first one. Pronoun cannot be the first one. And no subject cannot be the first one. Who is this about? It is about Mr. Millet's victory is a boost for the far right in the Americas. Very good. First one is B. What is the second one? D is not the second one. There is a full stop. D is not the second one. E is also not the second one. No, no, no. No, no. No one has got it right. A is the second one. Mr. Millet's victory is a boost for the far right in the Americas. An admirer of Donald Trump of the US and Jair Bolsonaro of Brazil, what has pushed Mr. Millet into the political limelight are the same views that raise concerns about his future administration. Here, victory based on that future administration. There's a continuity. Who is this? Bad, someone has created an acronym. BAD. What is the acronym you have got? Bad. What is the fourth one? He wants to replace Argentina's currency with the US dollar, ban abortion, dismantle the public health care system, and move public education into a virtual system. So here CF1 pair. No, no, off the track. We are good, but Parajumble started with bad. Very good, Manasa. I appreciate that. Presence of mind, sense of humor. So here, CF, after that, he has said, please excuse me. What is the last one here? He has said that under his administration, Argentina will have better relations with countries such as the US and Israel that fight socialism. Wonderful. I have been bringing idioms because SBI, they ask questions. It has been the trend. 5 questions based on idioms. So someone has seen that Manasa. Divya says, what do they say about me behind my back? Behind one's back, that is the idiomatic expression. What does it mean? What is the matching? Just barely by a narrow margin, face the consequences, madly in love. When someone is not present, answer is D. He has burned his fingers in the stock market. Burn your fingers means what? Incur losses. Not the first one, not the second one. What is the answer here? To suffer consequences of one's actions. He has escaped from the secret police by the skin of his teeth. Escape by the skin of one's teeth. Just barely by a narrow margin. If you have done something wrong, you have to face the music. All are very important. Means what? Face the consequences. I immediately fell head over heels for Tom. So, what does it mean? Madly in love with someone. That's all for today from today's editorial. A lot of words, a lot of expressions to learn from today's editorial, though it is a bit painful to go through the editorial because it is all about the defeat. You cannot enjoy the editorial, but language point of view, there's so much to learn. Thanks for being with me till the fag end of the session. 7:42. We have done very fast today. Usually it takes about 50 minutes. I haven't brought the words for consolidation. I'm going to change the approach. So wait for 1 or 2 days. Thank you very much. Do remember to subscribe and share. I will see you guys tomorrow.